Okay, welcome back to the table. Let's see if this game is over for us. As we get into game turn 4, Soviets always go first, so here we go. Popov is activating. Okay, Popov units are all over the map right now. And the first thing they want to do is take a VPX. So I don't think there's any for them to take anymore. This one would like to maybe take this hex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's not able to get there. So, and then we have this guy in the middle of nowhere. He can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he'll take that one. He has the 24 points that they need. And then these two up here have already taken hexes, but then they're going to end up leaving those hexes. That's the thing that's weird about this. If already in a VP with hex with less than 2 other steps, don't move at all. Okay, it does say that. And that's actually the third thing for them to do. So those guys really would stay in their VP hexes. So we'll leave them there. They're going to avoid surround if they can. The only guy left is this one right here. Now, by himself, he doesn't look very foreboding, but there's actually another reserve unit that he can bring in, so he's up to 9 strength now. And this would be 4, and he would come in there. Can he? No, he can't do that. He would be here. So 9 to 4 is 2 to 1 odds. And so now we got to go through the 7-step check. So the command card is a value of 3. 2 to 1 makes it 5. They're in Soviet support, so they got 6. And they have an auxiliary card, so they're at 7. So they will attack. The auxiliary card is NKVD, which I always forget what that is, but I know it's not good. We're automatically taking 1 hit, which means they destroyed the protection that the town gave us. As far as what they're going to draw, it looks like we got 1, 2, 3 chips. And then 1 more for the NKVD is 4. And then they're going to draw a card. And they got partisans for 5. And to make it worse, it's a reuse. So the partisans in the city are going to do another hit. So we now have 2 hits on us. And they're drawing 5 chits. Before they even draw, they already have 2 hits on us. Ay, ay, ay. Our blue units are going to get wiped. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Air power. What was it? It was 9 to 4, so it's 2 to 1. No, it doesn't play. I was really hoping to get some city ones that would... So we took 2 hits. The only good news there is we don't lose the units. So we have to retreat twice. So we would go... I don't want to go where my unit is. That's legal because we're going into a zone of control. So there we go. Disperse. Actually, the rules do say that they need to go here, where we are. So if I ever lose this battle, then my dispersed units are automatically destroyed. No matter what, but see, we do 2 hits to them. So the first hit's gonna damage their 3 pip unit, which is fantastic. And then if I look at the table, they have 4 pips remaining, and they're gonna eat the other cost, hit 2. So that means this guy takes a hit. So this one would for sure move in. The 1G army objective is completed. So now they're going to move to 2701, which is here. And that objective is pretty much complete too. 2701 is that one. So now granted, those units didn't take the objective themselves, but I'm assuming that as long as anybody takes the objective, the 1G army objective is now gone. So they are no longer with an objective either. And then we're going to roll a die for this one. Roll a 5, so they're moving in as well. So that's 2 more victory points for them. They're up to 26. We're going to lose the game at 24. So somehow I have to deploy units and take objectives. Oh, hold on. Game turn 4, a whole bunch of other stuff happens. We have to do supply. We have to do supply checks, the supply phase, and then we have to place garrisons. Garrisons are now active in game turn 4. So there's a lot to do. Okay, before this started, all of these guys were in supply because there was a road that goes off the north there, and then all of these can connect to the road. And in fact, but this one cannot, and neither can he. And we have a road here that's still clear. So he's in supply, that guy is not. So we had 1 unit not in supply. So let's take care of that. Then we have to do garrisons, which is a whole new set of rules. And Soviet units also do supply checks now. And I don't think there's any reason to believe there's a Soviet unit not in supply at the moment. Yeah, they're all in supply. So no worries there for the Soviet units. We'll get back to the garrison units in a second. And yeah, so garrison units is section 15.1 of the rule book. And I'll be honest with you, I read it a long time ago and I don't remember a dang thing about it. All I can tell you is garrison units are like these little villages are going to become active. And then everywhere that you see that they control a star, it's not going to be as easy as just driving in. You're not going to be able to take it. It's garrisoned now, which means we're going to lose because, you know, we got to make the game even harder. They're placed on the map in step 1 of the supply phase and as called for by the Soviet command event. Place a garrison marker in every empty Soviet VP hex from which Soviet supply can be traced. And then in every empty village hex, meeting all these requirements. That a Soviet is proximate, but that's not until, or on turn 5, that is in Soviet support. Soviet supply can be traced. A German unit's not adjacent. A German unit would be proximate. When checking German proximity and supply traced to this process, all garrisons not adjacent to German units are considered to possess a Soviet zone of control. Treat garrisons and hexes adjacent to German units as if they do not exist. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought. So garrison markers are the same markers. It's just the other side. So these stars are garrisons. Now, the garrisons actually we don't do combat with garrisons. If we march, we can move a unit into any garrison thing and take it. And there's no actual battle that occurs. We just win. Our core units are way stronger than a garrison. But what the garrison does is it exerts a zone of control that would prevent us from doing supply. So they block the roads from supply. Now, at the end of the game turn, if there's any Soviet garrison markers out here that can't get supply themselves, they get automatically removed. So the Soviet garrison, basically abandons it and the victory points swing our way. So if we could somehow take a part of the map and choke off some of these garrison units, we actually don't even have to take the city. The garrison units just flip and become ours. But they do the same thing we do. They get to trace 7 spaces, they have zone of control, all that stuff. But they do exert zone of control, and obviously if you're moving adjacent to them, they can slow you down because you're gonna have to deal with your movement points around that. But you can just march right in and take a garrison location. It's no big deal. They do allow it, is what I'm trying to say. So here we go. It's our turn. It's a lot of extra work, the garrisons. I have orange. I am in a position to take some VP points away from them with the orange. And then, of course, I have air supply where I can, give a supply to that unit. I don't know if I want to, but I have blue. Maybe I can try to take that city back. I highly doubt I'll be able to. But I do have this special OKW expedites, and I do need to read what that does. Because that's a new command. It's a special event. OKW expedites. German units scheduled to become available as reserves on turn 6 are instead available on turn 5. So the German units that are scheduled to become available on turn 6 is a whopping 2 strength infantry, 2 strength infantry, and 2 strength infantry. They can be available in turn 14 for all I care. That's like a worthless set of chips. What a horrible event that one is. OKW expedites. The OKW should just keep their units. All right. I guess they can hold a town. That's all they can do. The big one, though, is I have some yellow actions. So like this one here, remember, I also have deployment actions I can do. Because I have reserves that are ready to be deployed. But what I'm thinking is I want to activate units and take VPs away from them before they start to guard them themselves. That's the hard part here, and I don't know what the best mechanism is to accomplish that, because I do want to deploy the units, but I think I need to claim some towns so that way when I do deploy units I can strengthen my defenses. That's where my mind is. I'm thinking. So I have an opportunity here. If I play my white card, I can activate purple and I can actually take Belgorod back. Now in doing so, I don't cut off their supply because they can just go that way for supply. But I could take Belgorod back, but it's a 2 strength unit, and then all they're going to do is come down and surround me and trounce me. If I activate orange, I do have this unit here that I can, take. I can take this I can take that one and that one with orange. And in doing so, that's at least allowing me to open up some lanes. I would then have supply, because by them taking Kramarovsk or whatever that city is up there, they cut off my supply. I don't have the ability to go off that edge of the map anymore. So the other problem I have is that orange has a big stack of units. So if I play my orange, I can at least get those onto the board, which would then make me stronger. But I can't. My orange card is not my primary, so if I do that, then I basically have to put them in the countryside, because those garrison units are preventing me. Like, I can't place them on a garrison unit. I'm pretty darn sure I can't just, take a garrison unit with a reserve. So let me check. Okay, so we've been, deploying some reserve units before, and there's tactical deployment, which is what we've been doing. So let's say I'm deploying yellow. I have to deploy all the new yellow units within 3 spaces of those yellow units, but I can daisy chain them. So like once I place one 3 spaces away, I can make the next one 3 spaces away from this, right? I can daisy chain them. I have to also be mindful that the 1st Panzer Army has to be to the right of this line that goes like this. And then the 4th Panzer Army has to be between this line and this line. And I don't even know what Army Detachment Kempf even means. But there's that over there. So I can't just place them anywhere on the map. However, there is this thing called German strategic deployment, and that is that they come on a map edge. And if they arrive on a map edge, they should arrive in a supply, one of those supply spots, right? The Russians have 3 of them taken. There's only 1 that's even active. And you're allowed to deploy them in one of those. And when you do, they just have to be 2 spaces away from any Soviet unit. Now the garrisons, you can't place them on a garrison, so you can't just take a city, but you are allowed to place them right next to a garrison. So, and there is no restriction there. Now, if I do a strategic deployment, let's see here. Let's see. Yeah. I gotta look this up again. My apologies. Okay. Now I understand. So tactical deployment means I have to place near the other units of that same type. But there's this thing called strategic deployment, and maybe this is the thing I missed in the earlier turns that I should have done. Strategic deployment is I don't have to put them within 3 spaces of that. I can pick any supply head. So let's say that was ours. That's a supply head because this road traces supply somewhere. So anywhere along that road, I can just place units, and that's strategic deployment. But I have to be at least 5 spaces away from any enemy city or any enemy at all. Now, if I go on a map edge, anywhere on a map edge, I can come off there, and as long as I deploy in a map edge, and it doesn't even have to be on a road, I can do that, but I have to be at least 2 spaces away from an enemy city or whatever. So I don't have to deploy in the places, where they already are. And maybe I could have taken advantage of that. Like in the early of the game, I was talking about like how all of our units are way up here. I could have deployed, our yellow reserves, and I did do that. I placed them down here, and then I did what was called a tactical deployment, because I placed one and then all the other ones had to be near it. so we more or less did it, and there was no other reserves that have ever existed since then. So yeah, I did everything I could. This game just blows. All right, I'm gonna do we're gonna deploy all the reserves. I have to. There's no other option here, and we have a big stack. I don't have to deploy them where the other units are. I can choose, for example, to go somewhere else. Now, one of my thoughts is to deploy down here, because to deploy down here, I'm going to take back these victory points, and that is exactly what I think I want to do. So I have to be, if I'm on the, I have to be 5 spaces away from them if I do strategic deployment, unless it's a map edge. So I'm going to go ahead and do two there, and then two there, and then a third one here. I can do that in a strategic deployment. These are all map edge hexes, so I'm 2 spaces away from them. Okay? But that's my whole turn. And we get to draw a card. So let's see what our next one is. There we go. We got an orange. And remember, the deploying the reserves doesn't count, so we can activate orange again next turn. So let's hope we can survive this next round. They got Southwestern Front, turn 4. Activate Army in Southwestern Front with the most supplied units on map and in reserve, plus stacked units. Who has the most? And then this, yeah, they got combat engineers helping them. It's probably going to be Popov, but we'll find out here. So Popov has one below the camera here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. 7 units, 8, 9 units. Yeah, they for sure have the most. So Popov's activating, and then it says it's activating most supplied units in reserve plus stacked. This unit is stacked with them, so that one's also going to activate. So what on earth are they going to do? So we got this new movement orders. They're going to take a hex. Well, there's no hex to take. Open supply line. They're going to go to a Soviet VP hex that they're concerned that we're going to take from them. Now that's possible. This one is going to stay where he is. And then this one here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, he can't get there. He's going to do something else. This one, however, it's lowest to highest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's got to go to that one to protect that one. Nope, it's highest to lowest. So this one would go there. Now that that's protected, the other guy would not do it. So they're going to avoid surround. Adjacent to German VP hex. There's no options there for them. I mean, this one here, so these units aren't going to move, of course. So we do have a VP hex here, this one, but this guy can't get there. But these guys can. It does say that they will not vacate a map edge VP in supply. So that guy will not move. So this guy would move to take this. Then this one here, they have control of it, but the question is like, do they leave? Do not cause any Soviet unit to become unable to trace supply. For the Soviet VP hex, oh, they would stay because we're proximate to them. So those guys would not move. So the only guys that are left are the ones here for a possible attack. Now remember, they activated the stacks that they're in. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 2, 6, 9. It's 1-to-1. The command card is a 4. They do have an auxiliary that makes it 5. They're in supply, that's 6. I don't think they're going to get a 7th, though. Are we unable to trace supply? Right now, yes, we're unable to trace supply, so that's 7. We can't trace supply because this road goes to here, but we have a garrison, and this is blocking. Now we could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to this road. Oh, we can trace supply. Nope, 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 nope. They're not attacking. And I forgot, this is an improved position, so our strength would have been increased by 1. Not happening. So they moved around. Something, something. And then this next card, because they're not attacking anybody, the pop-up units are engaging again. But here's the crazy part. Nothing changes. He's not moving. He's not moving. Those two on the edge aren't moving. That's not moving. That's not moving. And these guys don't have enough to attack. Because this command card's only a 2. The last one was a 4. So if anything, they basically are just sitting still. They've taken so many points from us, folks, that they don't even know what to do. They don't have enough units to do anything. So it's our turn, and we're going to engage. So here we go. Let's see if our plan works. First things first. We came in off the edge of the map, which was the right thing to do, I believe. And these guys are going to move 1, 2. And then this guy. Now, if I move into here, I have to stop. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And so we're going to surround this guy. He's a 5 strength, but we have 3, 5, 8, 10. That gives us 2-to-1. That's not fantastic odds. But this guy over here, we're going to move 1, 2, 3, and we're going to take this back from them. So we got the Roger or whatever. So we got 2 points back. They're back to 24. We're going to try to take this guy out. And if we can take this guy out right here, then this whole corner becomes ours very soon. The problem is I may not be able to activate them again. As far as orange units go, I don't believe I can move the ones, well, no, I can move these guys. So this guy can move 1, 2, 3. We took another victory point. And then this one here was going to take that one because it's a strength 2, but we're a strength 4, but I'm going to go try anyways. We're going to attack both of them. It's 2-to-1 in both situations. These are awful, awful conditions. You know, can I do artillery, air power? None of these help. I mean, this would help or that would help if I actually draw the token, but what's the chances? And then, I'm giving up actions. That's the thing I don't like about the game, is I'm giving up actions to get my combat tactics. I wish my combat tactic deck was separate. I really do. That or just give me more actions, and then I don't feel so bad. All right, so they're going to draw we're going to do this one here. They got intelligence, which means it's never good. Our command card got reduced to a 1. And we're a command of 3, so we didn't take a penalty. If we were a 1 or a 2, they would have decreased their hits by 1. All right, so we can draw 1, 2, 3, 4. and the minimum is 2. So let's draw the minimum, 2. So they reduce their hits by 1. We're going to draw 2 more. And now I need a miracle. Need a miracle. We are 2 to 1. So that's happening. Nothing. Okay. So we take a hit. It has to be one of our armor. And they absorb a hit. So nothing happens to them. So now we're going to go do the other one. They're going to get fixed artillery. The minimum chit draw is 1. And the maximum is 1. So it's either 1 or done. And it's an air power. Okay, we did absolutely nothing on that turn. We did take 1 more victory point, so they're down to 23. So we're preventing a loss, which is just extending the misery. Okay, looks like this guy's activating. And we're on turn 4, so none of the events occur. Activate all units in the 69th Army. And then NKVD is the support. Now the 69th Army, of course, is over here. And what they want to do is they want to get next to the German unit, right? So 2 of them are already there, but they still want to engage if they can. So this one will go 1, 2, or no, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, they can't. So where do they move to? Their objectives are not complete yet. So they would, okay, take a VP, move adjacent to their objective, open a supply line, cause surround, they've already done that. Go to a Soviet VP hex, but only if we're near it. Yeah, they would do that. So this would be highest to lowest. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That guy is for sure doing that. Adjacent to German VP hex, logistics, German unit. Relieve garrison. Move to a garrison hex targeted for active front and in Soviet supply and in German supply, or to which German unit is proximate. Then they would follow their movement arrows. Actually, this VP needs to be taken still. And what's crazy is they can't. One of these other guys could, but we'll just follow the arrows. Then they have a 5 against a 4, but we're surrounded, so that 4 becomes a 3. And their command card is a 3. They don't have the 2 to 1 odds. They have a 3. They're in support for 4. There's no armor. We're surrounded, so that becomes 5. Auxiliary card applies, that's 6. No attack. Even though they have them surrounded, they're not attacking. Okay, then it's our turn. I forgot to draw a card at the end of my last turn. We got another white card, which is engineers. I think we want to get yellow going. I'm not sure. I mean, clearly, we got them down to 23 victory points. We're holding on by a thread. I can activate blue and just reinforce blue 2 points, which will get them some extra strength. Or I can actually try to attack with blue, but I don't think attacking with blue does me a lick of good. I can deploy yellow. There are 2 units to deploy, and remember what we did with the map edge? I think that's paying off. Like, we don't necessarily have to concentrate where the yellow units currently are. I can deploy them somewhere else and then use them to help me take back, objectives. Orange is fantastic. However, I don't know if I'm going to get another orange activation card this round. So while we have this guy surrounded, he's going to be out of supply soon. Dnepropetrovsk is worth 3 victory points. And all I needed to do was put 1 unit there and I would have had it. So part of me is thinking I'm going to do a strategic deployment, and I'm going to put, I can be 2 spaces away from here, and I'm allowed to be right next to him. So I'm going to put him right there, right along the road. And then I got another one that I can put anywhere along this road. Now I have to be 5 spaces away from him. Oh, I'm sorry. If you're on the road, you have to be 5 spaces away from, yeah. I can't do that. I can do this though. I can do that. I can go down here and do this one, but it's too close to these guys. I can even also go all the way over here and hold the victory points of the ones that haven't been taken. You know what? I'm just going to put both of them right there. And let's see what we can do. Now, can I kill that pop-off unit? If I add those 10 strength, I might be able to, but I would need a reinforced battle, and I do happen to have one. So I can get the orange units to join me, and then maybe we can conquer. But that is taking away my replenishment points. Right now, the goal is to get the victory points. So I think my better thing would be to take these 3 victory points away from them, and then we can worry about this pop-off unit whenever he goes out of supply, because he's too far away from any help or support. All right, so I will play this card to do exactly what I just said. And our turn's over, and look, we got another blue card. But unfortunately, that's not the reinforced one. But okay. Well, I have to confess, so far, having this stack of doom units like we do, I have been able to do something about it. Now, one thing I just realized is one of the cards that I added to the supplemental deck was a primary. This is supposed to be in my my hand, or my draw pile. These were the new cards that were added on game turn 4. So there was a primary card added that wasn't supposed to go into the supplemental pile. And so I'm just going to shuffle that in to the remaining cards. So technically speaking, I should have been able to bring out these green units earlier. But yeah, green's going to be a factor now. Okay, so it is their turn. Oh, it was not our turn yet. These guys were... Oh no, we did go with them. I'm sorry. Ooh, look at this. We drew 2 of the behemoths. This one will go first, and then this one will support it with 2 tactics. On game turn 4, activate all the 3T units. So that means that their objective is now complete, and so they're going to stop doing the gravy train thing. So this objective gets removed from the map. And so now they're going to use the new movement rules. So they're going to take a VP hex if they can. They can't. Then they're going to open a supply line. They're going to go to a Soviet VP hex if it's within, and there is one right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1. So starting with the lowest to highest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, this guy can't do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. All right, that's done. Avoid surround, go adjacent to a German one. They're not less than 19 points, so they're not in desperation. Now they're going to move into their operational limit. So their operational limit at 23 points is just this line here. So this one would move into his operational limit. And what's crazy is it says, okay, not on map edge, not stacked or adjacent to another unit, in support, closest to hex in support, with village for active front. So they want to move to one of these villages. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but they don't want to be next to another Soviet Union unit. So there. Cause surround. Adjacent to a German unit. None of these are happening. Relieve garrison. Move to a garrisoned hex targeted for active front with Soviet supply trace into which German supply can be traced. Unit already in village within operational limits within German unit proximate does not move by any method. So they want me to, they basically want to go into German, take those villages. Okay, so one thing I didn't do is every single village on the map that is in their supply zone is supposed to have one of those garrison markers, one of these. So, for example, that village, that village, that village. Every single one of them is supposed to have a garrison marker. Because they've taken the whole map. I mean, there's nothing that isn't theirs right now. So every village on this board is in their supply. And so they get every village you see. So it's not worth marking them. But what that means, though, is that these guys, their next movement objective is to take and secure villages that are within range of us to take. And at the beginning of our turn, any villages that we're next to, our units, get, destroyed. So would go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Nope. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't like this game. I'm really going to quit. This is so much work, and I'm getting no reward for this. I mean, just even this, putting these villages everywhere, and then having to. I mean, what was he thinking? This isn't fun. So follow the movement arrows. Doesn't make any sense. The movement arrows puts them out of the operational limit. Proximate to a German. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There, they're proximate to a German now. I'm very confident that I'm probably going to keep them below 24 victory points. And as you can see, we're going to get another big stack of armies. So maybe I'm giving up way too early. Because it's our turn again. I'm going to be able to activate yellow, which is what I would do. and I would move these guys, this guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we would take this and get 3 more victory points, which knocks them down to 20. And then this guy here can move 6. So I can keep going. But see, when you enter a village, you have to stop, because that village was technically one of those markers. So the village prevents you from continuing to move. So I can't just like steamroll across the map. The villages really do stop you. And so I do have to be careful, because, like, you know, I'm saying that everywhere was in supply. That may not be true, because the areas that near where I started weren't. But that is what I would do. That gave me 3 victory points. That's a huge amount of points. And it puts them down to 20. So we would then get to draw a card, and it would be a purple. And so we have, you know, purple deployments that could come out. We have green deployments that can come out. I'm trying to determine, am I being sour because today is just a bad day for me? You know, personal other stuff that's on my mind? Or am I really just not wanting to do this? But anyways, here you go with the Soviet garrison. In every empty Soviet VP hex. Okay, we did do that. Then in every empty village that a Soviet unit is nearby or in Soviet support, that's turn 5. So in Soviet supply, so all these have to be true. So it has to be near where a Soviet can drive to. Not adjacent to a German. It has to be in German supply, or a German unit would be proximate to the garrison. In Soviet operational limit. Okay, so this was at the beginning of the turn. At the beginning of the turn, we didn't have anything here, so I apologize. This village would not have been occupied, so we would have been able to move 1 more space. Because these guys didn't deploy until after the beginning of the turn. So let's do this. These guys were all, you know, down here. So the villages would be like this. The garrisons, I mean, and it would have just been anything that's within proximate of these units. So these units were all down here. Like, for example, nobody could move to this spot, so that one would not get one. And these guys relieved them, so that's why we took the village garrison away. And for that same reason, all these markers here would not have one, because no Soviet could get there. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, so these 2 would get one because they're on the map edge, and so that's within driving distance of this guy. And I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, he gets 1 too. Is that starting to make sense? All right, that's how this would have done. And this would have been done before we even started game turn 4. So we would have had garrisons here. Now garrisons, they ruin your day because they block supply. So no supply could go along these roads. And yeah, because he could go behind us this way, there's garrisons on those spots. Now, when we started our turn, we were actually, I believe we were here. So this garrison would have been gone, and I couldn't have gone up to attack him because I would have had to stop at that garrison. But, you know, it keeps going. There's garrisons everywhere. I mean, you go over here, there's not even enough tokens supplied with the game. I'm down to my last token. I mean, they don't even supply enough tokens to do it. It makes it a little bit better. I still don't. Still don't care for it. Sorry, Andrew. I know you have been excited for years for this game to come out. Not just months, but years. I don't like this game. I'd rather go dig a ditch. At least when I dig a ditch, it's my turn all the time, and I can actually see progress after 6 hours of doing it. That's my analogy for this game. It's never my turn, and after 6 hours of doing it, I see no progress. So I'm going to take a mental break, a longer one, and decide if I want to continue doing this. And I can't even imagine, like, okay, getting out the Soviet solo book and trying that side. No. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Nope, 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 nope. I would gladly sell this game. Ardennes as well. Are there some genius mechanics in this game? Yes, there are. Like some really cool concepts. But the whole concept of me never having enough cards, I mean, I want to play a game. I mean, it's okay. Like, I actually don't even mind the fact that there's a 22-step move command. 22 if-then-elses, right? I don't mind that. But let me play. I don't even get to play. I'm just watching a game unfold before me. So I know I'm repeating and rehashing, so I'll stop. That's my gripe. And I know some of you are doing it. And first of all, thank you, because I've made mental mistakes and gotten rules wrong. And I pouted like this before, and then found out that combat was being done wrong. And then once I got the rules right, the game was more balanced. And it is more balanced. And to be completely fair, I have a solid grasp of these cities again, and they're not going to win this turn. They're just not going to win. I knocked them back below 24 points. So slowly and surely, I think I can bite back. They're not getting a lot of reinforcements, as you can see. So eventually, I should be able to surround them and beat them back. And I'm thinking that I'm going to just start becoming a wave coming up this way. And then these units here, the green and the purple, I was going to put down here in the south and then have them come this way. So between the two, we were going to basically do like a big X on the map and then eventually relieve our units that are up there. That was it. But just to be clear, also, these villages here are preventing them from being able to trace supply, because they can't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because those zones of controls are preventing us from getting supply. This town can get supply because they can go 1, 2 out that way. So if anything, I would have moved this guy 1, 2 like that and left this one here, because I need to get them to be able to trace supply through my units so they can get out of here. So they didn't even provide enough tokens. All right, thanks for watching. Stay awesome.